In this presentation, we're going to talk about building your self-worth. We're going to give you some exercises that you can try today to set the wheels in motion. Now, if you can't appreciate yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? How can you expect to value others if the simple act of valuing yourself is too much of a strain? We all struggle with this at times, but learning to accept and love yourself is one of the most powerful steps you can take on your road to success. In fact, if you do nothing else but truly learn your real worth, a lot of the other things in your life will start to fall into place. We're going to start off with a simple exercise that will allow you to identify any self-worth struggles that you might currently carry. So here's what we're going to do. Answer each one of these questions to the best of your ability with a yes or a no answer. First one, do you engage in negative self-talk? For example, your inner voice tells you you can't do something. Answer yes or no. Do you have people in your life that make you feel negative or unworthy? Once again, yes or no. Do you allow the fear of not being good enough to hold you back from trying new things or goals? Answer yes or no. Do you have a general feeling of not being good enough? Answer yes or no. Do you have a lack of pride in yourself? Yes or no? Do you consider yourself less capable than the people around you? Yes or no? And finally, do you wish you could have more respect for yourself? Yes or no? Next, what you're going to do is some self-analysis. So you have all of the yes or no answers from the previous step. Here is how to evaluate your total answers. If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you are possibly dealing with some self-esteem issues. If you answered yes to between 2 and 4 of these questions, then you are likely dealing with some self-worth issue. And finally, if you answered yes to 5 or more of these questions, then you need to sit down right now and finish this video presentation. In all seriousness, no matter what you scored in this first analysis, it would serve you well to go through this entire presentation and really evaluate your self-worth and how to improve it on a day-to-day basis. Which brings us to the next exercise, all about self-awareness. The first step towards building your self-worth is to become aware of who you really are and what you truly have to offer people. Take some time to answer the following questions and don't really overthink. Just try writing the first things that pop into your mind so that you know it's the most authentic answer that you can possibly give. First of all, list your 5 greatest strengths. Then, make a list of 5 things you are proud of. Following that, make a list of 5 things that you are grateful for. Then, list 5 goals that you want to accomplish, either short-term or long-term. Place these answers in either a handwritten or even a digital journal so that you can revisit them daily and also add to them over time. Perhaps you want to give yourself a challenge to do this every single day for a week, and at the end of it, you have 35 in each of the following categories. There's no real reason to not do this all of the time and give yourself a leg up when it comes to self-awareness, leading to self-worth. Moving on to the next exercise, this one is about self-talk. Negative self-talk is one of the most destructive habits you can have when it comes to lack of self-worth. So what we're going to do in this exercise is to try and highlight some of the recurring things you say to yourself so that you can either replace those thoughts or at least catch them and then stop them. We'll give you an example so you can see what we mean. So, a negative self-talk comment example, I don't think they really like me. You might want to catch yourself and then replace it with, there is no reason not to like me. So what you'll do here is take an inventory of all of your negative self-talk comments. Come up with 4, 5, 6, maybe even 10 if you know that you do this to yourself often, and then add a replacement so that you can start building a trigger in your mind to begin interrupting that pattern. When the negative self-talk starts to come up, you replace it with your replacement statement and you begin habituating this into your life over and over. Take some time right now to complete this exercise, again, in either your written or digital journal. Moving on to the next exercise, this one's all about living authentically. So living an authentic life means that you're living in a way that you're being true to yourself. And this helps your self-worth because it's living your life based on your beliefs, and you're not trying to live up to society's beliefs or the beliefs that someone else may have tried to instill in you. So what you're going to do in this exercise is define 10 beliefs or values that you truly believe to be important. No one else's opinions or input here. This is just up to you. An example might be, I think it's important to show compassion to everyone. Make a list 1 through 10. You can go beyond 10 if you like as well. And then answer those right now in either your written or your digital journal. Moving on to the next exercise, here we're going to talk about the practice of mindfulness. So all of us, we're always thinking, constantly thinking one thought after another. In this fast-paced age, there's a constant barrage of information just bombarding us, and it can be tough to just sit back and simply enjoy being, which is a huge part of life, and building your self-worth. So here's what we're going to do. Next time you find yourself stressed out, worried about the past or future, or just being down on yourself, take a moment to pause and reflect. Next, close your eyes. Then, take some deep breaths. Breathe in slowly, exhale slowly. The entire cycle should take you 8 to 10 seconds. And then, speak some positive affirmations about yourself. This will really give you a chance to decompress, to enjoy the process of being, and to slow your thinking down and really be in the moment. Take some time right now in your written or digital journal to first write down the positive affirmations that you want to use in this exercise. Then take a few minutes to actually try it out following steps 1 through 4 as noted here. Moving on to the next exercise, this one's all about spending time with positive people. So even though it's called self-worth, sometimes the most damaging influences can actually be from other people. If you're spending time with negative people, then you are likely to feel negative yourself, at least some of the time. The opposite is true as well. Positive friends will breed positivity. So this exercise is simple but important. First, make a list of 5 people who are negative influences to your self-worth. Really become conscious of who those top 5 are in your life. But then on the flip side, and something a little bit more fun and productive, list 5 people, or more if you want, who are positive influences to your self-worth. These are the people you probably want to spend more time with, and that's exactly your takeaway here. So do this exercise in your journal, and then make a note for yourself and decide how you want to implement this. But ideally, you want to be spending more time, obviously, with your positive influences, and then reducing your time or even dissolving the relationships with those people who are negative influences to your self-worth. The next exercise, backfill positivity. The concept of backfilling positivity is basically that by introducing as much positivity to your life as possible, like we did in the previous exercise, you'll intrinsically build your self-worth. You'll be happier with yourself because you'll be happier with life in general. So here's what this exercise is all about. First, list 3 to 5 things from your past that you regret, but you can't change now. These are the things you need to work on letting go of. Next, list 3 to 5 things you are fretting about in the future, but you can't control now. You also need to learn how to let these things go. List 5 special things in your life that make you happy. This is a way to look at what you currently have right now. List 5 ordinary, simple pleasures that you take for granted. This could be something as simple as going to sleep in a warm bed. And then list 5 ways you can spread positivity this week to become an agent of change for other people to also begin to feel positive. Keep an open log or journal. Now, this is again where you want to use your written or digital journal and add to these lists as often as possible. So you may get 3 to 5, maybe even 7 today, but by the end of the week, maybe you'll have 30 or 40. Keep this process going, and you'll really work on that process of backfilling your positivity. The next exercise is a bit different, but it's also pretty fun. It's called Getting Creative. And this is another great way to build your self-worth, and that's by engaging in a new hobby or some kind of pursuit that you haven't done before. Learning a new skill or hobby is a great way to feel more self-worth, to kind of remind yourself, hey, I'm good at stuff when I put my mind to it. I can learn and grow and develop as a human. And generally, it's also just good for your mind, body, and soul. So here's how this exercise is going to look. You're going to repeat this process over and over again for each new skill or hobby. So you'll start by going into your journal, either your written or your digital journal, and you will write something you always wanted to learn or try. And then you simply answer, where could I do it, and when I will do it. So the where should be exactly where you could learn. It could be a community center or some kind of higher education place, maybe online. And in terms of the when, don't just plan on doing it someday. Actually set a date for yourself to try this thing. Make it real, right? Give yourself a chance to actually try this skill out and see if it's something that you want to develop. This exercise in creativity will not only boost your self-worth, but will just give you a rush of excitement about the potential opportunities you could create in your life. The next exercise is practicing kindness. If you want a guaranteed way to boost your self-esteem or how you feel about yourself, do something kind for someone else. It won't just help your own self-worth, but you also might boost someone else's who really needs it, and that will just have a positive influence back on you again. So take some time right now to brainstorm some kind deeds that you can perform for other people. Use these guidelines. 5 kind deeds you can perform for your family. 5 kind deeds you can perform for your friends. And then finally, 5 kind deeds you can perform for people you don't even know, random acts of kindness. What you want to do here is make this a regular part of your routine. So take your journal out, maybe your physical written journal or your digital journal, whatever works for you, and write these answers down, the 5 that we talked about, and then give it a try for a month and just make a note on how you feel, how it shifts your energy, how it shifts your overall state of mind, and hopefully links back to your overall feeling of self-worth. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to today's presentation all about building your self-worth, and I really hope this helps you out. Please do take some time, like we talked about throughout the presentation, to get that journal going, whether it's written or digital, and really follow through on these exercises. Spend some time, or invest some time, I should say, into developing your self-worth and see and measure how it improves over time as you commit to this process for the long term. Thanks for listening.